Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing Esper Stoneblade. Stoneforge Mystic can, of course, bring out all kinds of crazy machines like Calder Complete, Cryptic Coat, and our newest edition, Pre-war Formalwear, which gives the deck a lot of reach. This is going to be used to bring back some of our powerful creatures. We've got 4 Psychic Frog. We've got 4 Tamiyo. We've also got a couple Snapcasters. This is because we also, in addition to having powerful creatures, have powerful spells. We've got 4 Swords of Plowshares, the best removal spell in the format. We've got a couple Thoughtseize to rip up our combo opponent's hands. And we have a couple Prismatic Endings, which are really good against Painter. They're really good against blue-black tempo. They are pretty good against Nadu and a lot of other strategies that rely on cheap creatures and permanents. We, of course, have 4 Force of Will, 8 cantrips, as would be expected. We've even got a Teferi here. Teferi can kind of make our opponent's lives harder while also potentially bouncing a Calder Complete to hand if we need to redeploy it, or bouncing a Snapcaster Mage if we need to plow something again. So this is just a value creature, and you'll notice everything in this deck is really cheap. The only things that aren't cheap are things that we're cheating into play, like Calder Complete. We have 2 Nile Spellbombs because of the Reanimator Menace. Let's talk about the Reanimator Menace. So we have 2 additional surgical extractions in the sideboard. We've also, in case we're running up against other unfair decks, we've got Orcish Bowmasters to punish 1 ring. We have Null Rod to stop Karnforge. Very popular deck, very powerful deck. And we've got a couple Lavinia, and she can shut down a lot of the more degenerate, like, 12-post type decks that are just casting ridiculously expensive permanents. She reins that in. We also have anti-Eldrazi tech in 3 consigns, 2 harbingers, and we've got anti-painter / moon stompy tech in 3 hydroblasts. One is technically a blue elemental blast. You should split these up so they don't get surgical. All right, and then the mana base is very simple. This is like the most vanilla, like responsible mana base possible. We've got 5 duels. We've got 3 basics. We've got a couple surveillance. We've got 10 fetches. And that's all. That's like really all our mana is there for, is to cast our spells. We're not doing anything with like Karakas. We're not wasting anything. It's just there to hopefully make sure that we can reliably on curve cast our frog, eventually be able to Stoneforge into Stoneforge and put Caldera into play immediately. There's a lot of things you can do with a lot of mana. Of course, Tamiyo is very mana intensive, and we can also potentially hard cast Caldera or just get the can of men going with the Cryptic Coat. I love this card, and I feel like it was released in there, like Stoneblade wasn't really there even with this card, but I do think Pre-war puts it over the top. So this should be a fun league. We're going to play a full 5 rounds. As always, please leave a comment if you see me make a questionable play, if you're just not sure why I made a play, or if there was something better I could do. I really appreciate the feedback. I will never shoot the messenger. I reply to every single comment people leave me, and I hope that the other people reading the comments will benefit from your insight as well. Thanks, and let's go play some Legacy. All right, round 1. I just want to add that we have a awesome sideboard guide that I put together for this. Very awesome. I can compliment my own sideboard guide. It's in the video description, and we'll be referring to this throughout the match. I like to just create these whenever I brew a deck, just because it does give me some idea of what's likely to come out, what's likely to come in, so I can be a little more prepared. And we're covering all the most common matchups we're likely to encounter here. So hopefully this will give us some mileage, but be sure to check the description for that. Let's see who we're up against in round 1. Opponent is unknown, but this hand cooks seriously. Like, we've got Force with Teferi. Those cards are probably going to be cast together. We've got a Nile Spellbomb if they're a graveyard strategy. We don't have like all the mana, but I think what I'm going to do is probably just ponder if I suspect they have Wasteland. If I think they have some sort of graveyard strategy, I'll just go ahead and Nile Spellbomb first. Catacombs, Underground Sea, Nethergoyf. Okay, so this is likely just blue-black tempo. So I think what we do here is we ponder for land number 2. And we hope they don't... we hope we find land number 2. We should. Okay, now we don't have to worry about that. So now I think what we do is we just go get a Tundra, and we could Plow. I also kind of like just maybe getting a... we don't want to Thoughtseize them at all. I'd like to get rid of that. These decks, you don't want to Thoughtseize them because their hand is like really consistent. I think what we do is probably just go ahead and grab a plains, because we do want to make sure we have... the other option is we go ahead and deploy a Nile spellbomb off of a Tundra. I kind of like having a basic under me though, and I think the most important basic here is... I'll get an island. All right, so we're going to island, spellbomb. And this is good because like maybe they daze this. That would be great. I'm not going to argue about that. I'm so glad they dazed that and not like our subsequent spells, because like Teferi is going to be pretty good if we actually resolve them. This also puts, the threat of a Psychic Frog at least a turn into the future. This could imply that they have like something strong, like a... I think maybe what we do here is we do plow and then we ponder. I can go ahead and plow now. I don't have to plow this thing, but I think it's fine to do so. And then we do have force, but I think it's unlikely they cast anything force worthy. I'm just going to ponder now. These are fantastic. So we don't really need the second Stoneforge, but if they waste us, then we might actually want it. I'm just going to take the land now, and I'll take the plow later because I don't want to Thoughtseize out of my hand. And we're just going to try not to force anything if we can avoid it. Like a giant Murktide maybe, but yeah, this is good. You definitely want your tempo player opponent to be casting cantrips when you're a control deck. We're kind of like a mid-range deck, but like Stoneforge can really get a lot of value. I'm definitely going to Stoneforge for the equipment, the Pre-war Formalwear. Okay, and they're wasting here. That's fine. Okay, so I think we don't do anything here. I think we just play this out because I do want that second Stoneforge. Do I really care? I mean, they could have another days, but that sets back their development so much. I think I'm going to go ahead and go for this. Let's see if we're in. Days number 2. Well, we could force this. I think it's fine. They have like nothing in play. They can't daze back. They could force back. I don't care about Teferi. He's not particularly strong here. Okay, we resolved. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go get... I think I'm going to get Cryptic Coat because that represents damage and I can just continue to use it. And it also pairs with a force if I draw a force. Cryptic Coat is really strong. And it's one of those things where like every turn we can potentially generate value. Probably every other turn we actually want to draw land here. I think I'm just going to pass with the ability to put Cryptic Coat in instant speed. I don't think they have anything in their deck to get rid of Cryptic Coat. Spellbomb doesn't matter. That does make me glad that I didn't get Pre-war, but I didn't have anything to return anyway. So now they can crack this and make their another wave bigger, so I just have to let this come through. Next turn, I will plow it. Okay, and they didn't use it, so now I'm going to go ahead and do this. They may have Stifle. These decks don't usually play Stifle. All right, let's see what we flip. Just an Underground Sea, which is kind of sad because I don't think I'm going to cast this Thoughtseize. I'm hoping to brainstorm it away. I'm going to go ahead and start by pondering because I would like to find a land drop. I don't think these are good cards. I mean, I would definitely take another Plow, but what I'm looking for is a land. I think here I am going to go ahead and attempt to Plow this and see if they have yet another days. They may emergency spellbomb me. Okay. So I don't care about my graveyard. They draw a card. They are going to gain 3 life instead of just 2 now. Okay, and now I can attack with both. They don't have haste creatures in their deck, so we can start the clock. Next turn, I can definitely bounce the cloak back to hand if they don't have anything to do. There is very much a risk that like they have Force and Murktide here, and that my Plow can't find a home. Tamiyo, I'm not worried about that. Even if they flip her, I can pressure her with Cryptic Coat. Cauldron complete. I think I'm just going to do it. If they have Brazen Borrower, that's unfortunate because I did pitch my Teferi and I don't have a way to reset this, but I think it's worth trying. This will force them to use their Brazen Borrower if they have it. If they don't have a Brazen Borrower, they're on a very fast clock. And a lot of Tempo players, they only play one Brazen Borrower, which I think is a mistake. I think you should play two. It's a really good card. All right, so we're just going to chill. If they Tamiyo Ultimate, or like Tamiyo Flip, it doesn't even matter. All right, they're creating a clue, so they're going to be able to draw. If they do just have one of Brazen Borrower, then they're probably desperately trying to draw to it. Okay, brainstorming. We did struggle to find land this game, so I'm really glad I put these out because they could have wastelands or they may have brainstormed them away. This is fine. So I'll just hit her with my Caldera. They have two unknowns in hand. Please don't have a Brazen Borrower. That would really ruin my game plan here with Tamiyo. I mean, it would slow me down. Like, basically, I'd be doing a dance, like hitting Tamiyo every turn, and then she'd be going back up. They don't really have anything threatening to bring back. They're going to fetch. I'm trying to think if there are any 3-drops in their deck. I don't think there generally are. Even if they get something like... okay, interesting. Okay, Fatal Push. So they have to pay 2. Deal. And if I draw, I can just equip Cryptic Coat. Wait, actually, Cryptic Coat doesn't have an equip thing. So, yeah. All right, well, we're still going to be able to kill Tamiyo. Yeah, we're definitely going to be able to do that. I would actually like a blue card for Force now. Okay, this is fine. So what I'm going to do is I think I could just take their last action. I think I'm going to go ahead and just attack Tamiyo here. And yeah, we do want to get her off the table. So she's down. Okay, so options. We could Thoughtseize the last card out of their hand. I don't hate that because this Thoughtseize has just been hanging out and not doing anything. We can always pull Cryptic Coat back to our hand if we need to as a force pitch. I think I will take... Where's my Underground Sea? Oh, did it already get milled? So unfortunately, I'm not actually playing that many black sources here because really we're just playing the 2 Thoughtseizes and the 2 Frogs. Let's see what their last card is. It may just be like a land or something. Okay, they just concede rather than show me their last card. Okay, so that was pretty clean. We played pretty quickly. We've got we're down like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, but that's normal when I'm trying to commentate. Okay, so in terms of substitutions, let's take a look at our thing where we make a very small substitution for this. We take out 2 Force of Will, we bring in 2 Bowmaster. Force of Will is pretty bad. I would even argue that we could take out Teferi. Teferi is pretty bad here. You really need to have a lot of mana to bring Teferi out. But I do see a world where Teferi can like bounce like something, or I don't know. Do we want to take Teferi out instead? I'm kind of feeling taking Teferi out and bringing in Force. Especially on the draw. Maybe on the play, it's okay to keep Teferi in. I will revise this. Actually, you know what I should do is I should take out the Thoughtseizes. These are terrible against them. I'm going to see if I have time to do that before it, if it lets me resubmit. Okay, it does. Yeah, Thoughtseize is really terrible against them because they actively kind of want you to hurt yourself and to get stuff into their graveyard so they can Murktide and so you can make their creatures bigger. This also makes it a little easier because we never have like a turn 1 requirement of getting a black source. So we can just get our black sources later and focus on our blue and white sources, which are our primary colors. Right, our opponent used every second at their disposal to sideboard. Maybe they had to run to grab a drink or something. All right, I think these are really good to keep. We have an unmatched force, but like we have basics, which are absolutely critical. Like our mana is the biggest concern here. If they Thoughtseize us, they'll probably just take a Plow. I kind of like Stone Forging for, okay. Yeah, they're off to a strong start. We have double Plow. This could be hitting us for as much as like 3 or 4 next turn. I think that's pretty good. It's not useful now. I think we go ahead and just Plow just to, I think I'll do it during the upkeep. in case they need to do something to interact. I don't even care about this Plow, but I do want them to use their mana. I don't expect them to have Spell Pierce or anything like that. I'm just going to be aggressive about removing their threats. They actually don't have that high of a threat density because they have a lot of non-creature spells. All right, I'm happy to see that. Although I would be happier to see that if I had an Orcish Bowmasters out, but the Bowmasters are really there for defense more than offense. If the game goes long, we're gradually more and more favored. Okay, they did find another land. There's another Nethergoyf. So I am kind of worried about plowing this one and then them playing a frog. Now I'm not worried. Now I feel very confident. So I am going to go ahead and go to upkeep and do the same thing I did last time. And my hope is that this draws like a force or something interaction so that Stoneforge doesn't get the interaction. Or that we draw a land. If we draw a land, we'll be in a much better position to cast Stoneforge. All right, and here's Frog. Right on schedule. I'm not going to force. I am going to just chill and hope that it doesn't completely run me over. Oh, that's good. All right, so we do have the option of going ahead and snapcasting and seeing if we can kill it, but a single daze like does ruin that plan. I think it's worth trying. I'm gonna go get my swamp. Now we have all our colors, and I think I am gonna go ahead and snapcaster. And there's a decent chance that they just plow this. Or, I'm sorry, that they daze this. I think it's more likely that they attempt to daze my Plow, though. Okay, wow, that just worked. Snapcaster is such a good card. All right, they're pondering. Probably to find more action. I mean, I've removed 3 of their threats already. All right, pondering again. They have a stacked graveyard, and I'll be very sad. Okay, this is not that big of a deal, but I am kind of worried about Murktide now. Okay, this is great. I like having lots of mana sources. I think what we do is we just Stoneforge. We could Stoneforge, and then we could potentially surprise... Oh, you know what we could do is we could Stoneforge and get Cryptic Coat, and then we have a card to pitch to force. I like that. I'm going to go ahead and use this mana. And this mana. And I'm going to attempt to Stoneforge. They didn't have a daze earlier, so they may not have one. I don't think they're prioritizing getting it. So I'll grab Cryptic Coat here. And then I will just pass. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to attempt to bowmasters. If they fly. I hope they fly. Because I do want to clear their graveyard and reduce the risk of something bad coming in. A brainstorm would be tremendous here. Anything to flip that Tamiyo. Okay, so they are flying. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and attempt to bowmasters. Okay, it's in. I'm going to ping. If I ping the frog, I force them to discard. Is that good? I think it's okay. I don't care about their life total. Go for the throat. Okay, they have 1 card left. I think I am going to force this. If they have daze as the last card, it'll be a blowout. But I may still be able to recover. They do have a card to discard, but now they have to discard that in order for Frog to survive. They can discard. Actually, they can choose to discard because the ping goes on the stack, and then they can choose and discard a card. They are discarding. They discarded their backup Tamiyo. Okay. The frog survives. Oh, our own frog. So we could get frog supremacy here. I think we just play both of our cards here. They don't have any sweepers in their deck. So I'm going to Psychic Frog here. Which is more important? I think actually Stoneforge is more powerful here because I can just go get the Caldra and then hit them with Caldra. And then we can tempo them. I think that's good. All right, and we're going to be hitting them for a lot here. I think we just leave the Stoneforge back. I mean, we don't even really care if they connect here. I'm going to attack with everything with the presumption that they don't have some way to kill it. And then I don't think we're going to block with Stoneforge, but Stoneforge has done like a really admirable job here. Admirable job. Okay, so they're blocking 2, they're taking 8. And we're racing. They need to come up with a lot of answers here. Bowmasters is so good. I'm so glad I have bowmasters in my sideboard. They're kind of disincentivized from attacking by the bowmasters, but if they find removal, if they find a brazen borrower, that's going to be really good. Okay, it looks like, I imagine they're going to attack. Okay, yeah, they're going to create a clue. I'm not going to block. I'll just take the 2 damage and I'll ping and our army will grow. Okay, Fatal Push. That is okay. There's not anything we can do about that. So now they do get to draw a card and they can also crack their clue and flip Tamiyo if they want. But this frog is not going to outrace what I have on the table, especially when I put down my own frog. Okay, this could be a Murktide. That's fine. So frog will fly. Okay, so I think what we do is we prismatic end the frog, and then we just attack with Caldera. Actually, if we attack with Caldera, I'm gonna go ahead and just attack with Caldera. And then what I'll do is I'll prismatic end the frog and I'll play my own frog as a potential chump blocker if necessary. Okay, and now let's go ahead and just get rid of this. Wait, I can't tap like that. I will tap like this. If the last card is a daze, that's fine. Like, this isn't that important, but I do like the idea of being able to jump and block. And then they're seriously disincentivized from attacking now, because I think if they attack with both Tamiyo and Murktide, they're dead on board. So this, it looks like Borrower. Oh, they're just cracking a clue. Okay, good. Borrower is the main thing I fear here. Okay, Spellbomb. They're just going to draw through it. Okay. The fact that they kept their Spellbombs in is suspect. I mean, they may not have anything better than that, but I feel like they should have better stuff than that. Okay. They may keep Murktide back. They do have 3 cards in hand. So if they did manage to find like a interaction spell, we could be in trouble. Okay, good. They're not attacking. So Caldera is definitely going to swing at Tamiyo, and they're going to be incentivized to block if they care about keeping Tamiyo. Tamiyo has done basically nothing here. But she did create some clues, but... All right. I think what we do is we just attack Tamiyo. Okay. They think Tamiyo is worth more than this Murktide. So that's exiled. And I think we just chill... If they do get rid of this, then we're going to need to put lots of firepower on our frog. They may Fatal Push, regrow Fatal Push. That would make sense. But they're going to have to do something here. Again, the most powerful thing they could do is Brazen Borrower this back to our hand. Okay, I think they could have their own bowmasters, so that is one reason not to cast Ponder here. I think I'm going to start by just attacking everything at Tamiyo, everything that can, potentially do damage here. Yeah, and I'll just leave these Stoneforge Mystics back. There's no point in attacking with them. I'll discard the land so that this will do damage. Okay, she's dead. We get a card. It's another land. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to Ponder here. I think if they had a Bowmaster, they would have cast it defensively there. I could be wrong. Oh, it looks like they're Hardcast Force, which is totally fine with me. Yeah, that's fine. So we don't have all the time in the world. We do need to be aggressive. And when I say it, we don't have all the time in the world, they will eventually draw into Brazen Borrower, and that will be a nightmare for us. Another Murktide is not a big deal. We'll just, yeah, that's fine. We're just going to attack. Actually, it's not even so big that Frog can't handle it. All right, I'm just going to attack with, let's see, is this a force block? I feel like they're going to have to block one of these. So I definitely want to attack with Frog. I'm going to attack with everything. Math is for blockers. I'll happily discard these 2 Polluted Delta. Even if they have like a Fatal Push or something, it's not that big a deal. Okay, so that is going to trample over, and they are going to be very dead here. I am going to discard a card. Let's see. Do I need to discard a card? So now it's the 3/4. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, this is like overkill. It's not necessary for me to do that. So I'll just do that. And we're just going to trample on over. And they are pretty dead. Unless they have some effect. All right, we did it. -1. Yeah, so it was unnecessary for me to do that. I wonder what I would have drawn. Okay, see you in round 2. We're 1-0. Back for round 2. What deck would you expect our opponent to be playing when their username is Urza the Planeswalker? Well, if you guess Karnforge, that seems to be what they've been playing recently. Is this good against Karnforge? Let's think about this. We have the Brainstorm Tamiyo combo. We're on the draw. We don't have any turn 0 interaction. I wonder if they play Chalice. They don't usually, these decks don't usually play Chalice because they have 1-drops. They've actually got a lot of 1-drops. So let's think about, like, if they're on this, mulliganing an otherwise very good hand. This is like an incredible hand. I think I'm going to keep this, and we're just going to see how devastated we get game 1. Game 2, we've got a lot of things we can bring in. Oh, Eldrazi then. So they are playing Chalice, and they exiled 2 Chalices. Please don't have a third. That would really suck. My hand is like very 1-drop heavy. They do. All right. Well, we are going to just sit here for a few. What? They have a 4th one? Okay. Yeah, sure. Turn off 0-drops. That doesn't affect me. Wow. They went down to 4 cards. So we know they have Devour Destiny in hand. So we do need to figure out a way to win before that goes off. Oh, this is a great card because we can do a lot. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to surveil. I just want to get access. Well, actually, if we surveil, then we risk them wasteling us off the ability to put Cauldron into play. Like, this game is all about Cauldron. That's all I think that matters. I guess if they are able to like kicker something, that would be extremely explosive. But I do think it makes sense to go ahead and play the fetch first. Snapcaster is still a body, even if it can't snap anything back. Cavern. Fleshraker is the scariest thing they could do here. That's what they have. We are definitely... I mean, if they had that, they should have held the Chalice for next turn. Maybe they were worried that I might be on a combo deck. Okay, so the question is, they have 2 unknowns and a Devourer of Destiny. Do we go ahead and get the Surveillance? I don't think we do. I'm just going to play patient. Kozilek's Command, which is the real... Well, we could just draw our thing that we were about to go get. I guess that's not the worst. It could be worse. We could draw another 1-drop. Okay, so I don't think we're going to have creatures in play that can... I'm trying to think if... Kozilek's Command exiles, doesn't it? So there's a good chance we're never going to have any anything to return from our graveyard. So I do think I'm going to go ahead and get a Cryptic Coat. We are not going to be using it as our pitch cast card since we have a fistful of 1-drops that cannot be cast. Seeing all 4 Chalices in the top maybe 10 cards of their deck, 11. So it's a lot of Chalice. They're probably like, why didn't they get Cauldron? Cauldron's so good against me. So I will force to protect her. I'll force basically anything they put on the stack that I can force. I'll probably force to protect her. I'll probably let like actual things resolve. I won't. Well, if they have Thought-Knot Seer, we're just totally screwed. We will still have an equipment to put into play, but Cryptic Coat is not going to outclass Eldrazi. They do a lot of damage to themselves, so Cryptic Coat attacking as a True Name Nemesis every turn is not the worst. This thing just looks like the worst Cantonese dish of all time. Okay, please don't be freaking Thought-Knot Seer. It's worth noting that I think Devourer of Destiny does exile. Let's see. Exile target permanent is 1 or more colors, which does not save our Cauldron. Okay, so this is targeting this. I'm just going to hit this. I mean, we're like super duper screwed either way. They're going to have mana to cast Devour next turn. But we do want to mitigate the amount of mana they can generate. Our deck does not have any sort of wastelands in it or anything like that, so they are like basically guaranteed to be able to cast her next turn. I'll just take this. I think we still play Cauldron just in case they don't have the mana source, but like If they didn't have the mana source, they'd probably have something they could cast that would generate a token. Okay, options. One, we can't do anything. Never mind. There's a chalice out. I'm just going to go ahead and start hitting. Start blasting. This is not long for the world. Like, Devourer will devour this. But it does have trample. They're at 9. Cryptic Coat could come in and potentially close the game before Devourer, but let's be real. Any mana source, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Another Fleshraker would be a pain, but it wouldn't be as bad because Devourer. Okay. What is this? Thana's here, I can take. Yeah, that's fine. I don't really care that much about the coat. I care about beating them down every turn. They will be incentivized to eventually chump. They can hit me for 2 here, but that's not a big deal. Let's see, 2, and then next turn they can hit for 6. They are going to have to cast this Devourer at some point. Okay, they're opting not to tap their... yeah, and they did take my... So I can put a Snapcaster in next turn if I don't have anything better to do. Yeah, I don't have anything better to do. I'm just going to... I think I'm just going to attack with this. And then Snapcaster comes in next turn and maybe surprises. I don't think surprise would be the right word because there's no way that it will be a surprise. But if they attack with Glaring Fleshraker, I'm absolutely going to, Snapcaster. Okay, there's Blast Zone. So they do have the mana for Devourer now. Okay, they get a token. Yep, that is exactly what was expected. Uncounterable abilities. Okay, they're just attacking with that. I think we just take this. I'm trying to think of how we might be able to get damage across the line. They can't tap their tomb anymore, but I just don't think it matters because Chalice is such a good card. Yep. There's no point in playing. We're dead. Okay. Chalice on 1 was very good there. So for sideboard, let's take a look at my sideboard guide here. And -2 spellbomb, -1 teferi, -2 Tamiyo, +2 harbinger, +3 consign. All right, let's submit. So pre-war is pretty bad here, but I don't think it's so bad that I'm going to cut it. I think Tamiyo is like atrocious, especially if they're playing Chalice. It's just like you never have enough mana against this deck. Even if you have basics, they're going to exile them. Okay, my wife made me an omelet and she doesn't want the cat to eat it. So she said, hurry. Okay, well, this may be a quick match. I don't think we can keep this. Force is not the bee's knees against them. This is much better. So I think we turn 1 island into Stoneforge. Turn 2. Yeah, so we're going to put back... I think second Snapcaster is a little aspirational. Yeah, I do think it's right to go ahead and start with a Island Ponder. This way we can avoid drawing Thoughtseize, which may be on the top of our deck. These are pretty good cards. I like ending because if they go in on something like a Chalice, we do have a way to get rid of it. I like having the 3rd land. So I think we'll put... Let's see. We don't need the second Stoneforge. I'm not going to draw it. I will put ending. Yeah, I'll do it like that. Next turn. Well, yeah, because when we Stoneforge, we are going to shuffle. Eldrazi Temple pass. There's a very good chance that a wasteland comes for our scrubland here, but I'm going to go ahead and do this. It's too powerful to not do it. All right, and next turn we have some combination of cantrips if we don't get to deploy our Cauldra, like if they take it out of our hand. Okay, that's scary. I mean, that represents 6 mana now. Well, actually, yeah, 4 mana. Oh, nothing? Holy cow, how did we get so lucky? But if they didn't have Devourer in their opener, I'm going to play with the land. I'm going to go white, blue. I'm going to put it into play. And then I can brainstorm for force if they have Kozilek's Command. Unfortunately, Kozilek's Command does exile, I think. They just made that card way too powerful. Like they made all these Eldrazi cards like ridiculously broken. I think if you get rid of Eye, it maybe slows the deck down enough that it's still a legal deck, but it's definitely not very much fun to play against. Okay, here we go. All right, how many lands are we going to exile here? All right. What are they targeting here with this? Okay, they're targeting our underground sea. I'm going to go ahead and float blue. And I'll probably just get an in-step brainstorm because, like, I'm going to need another land now. They still have 5 cards in hand, too. Even with the Lotus Petal. So I think Wasteland is the get here. I'll be stunned if they don't get Wasteland. Yep, there's a Wasteland. And this Eldrazi player is not messing around. I played against a lot of Eldrazi players that don't seem to understand, like, this is all about, like, jamming broken summoning Myco spawns. Okay, so it's worth noting that this would not have helped. Okay, so Prismatic Ending is pretty dead here. We're going to lose our white source, but we can go get another one. We can Plow and keep attacking, but Plow's not a great card here. I am going to probably pitch Brainstorm. Yeah, so next turn I will draw. I will have the ability to go get planes, and I will probably just Plow that. And that way, at least if they draw another Wasteland, we'll have some mana on the table. Okay. And the main thing is we just need to force Kozilek's Command. Devourer of Destiny, you can't counter the trigger, unfortunately. This absorbs like a lot of damage when we attack with Kaldra, so it does give them like an extra turn. Plowing it doesn't really solve our problem either. Our opponent's thinking very hard about whether to Wasteland or Scrubland. I don't know. Maybe they have something else that they cast, like multi-turn line, where they could deploy like a Harbinger of the End or something like that. Okay, I'm convinced our opponent's just multi-queuing. I can't imagine like a strategic decision that an Eldrazi player would need to make at this point that would take that long. But maybe I'm just not giving the deck enough credit. All right, well, I'm glad I got up to grab my omelet because it took them a while to do that. Okay, and they're passing. There's the Plow we knew about. If we Plow, we can do 6 damage. We don't have to worry about retribution. I kind of like the ability to Brainstorm, Plow away. I kind of like holding just for a turn cycle. Seeing what happens here. So let's see, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they can cast Devourer of Destiny now if they want to. And there's nothing we can do about it because Wizards decided to make those uncounterable cast triggers instead of, something like any sort of control player could interact with. I mean, we could find a consign. I guess that's like the silver lining is like by not plowing and just going face, we can potentially Brainstorm into a consign. Okay, it looks like they're adding a lot of green. Are they going to Myco spawn me again? Are we having fun yet or what? My goodness. Okay, so they are going to exile our island, so I'm just going to Brainstorm, I guess. We found Harbinger, but we're never going to be able to cast it. Plow doesn't do anything. So I think we're going to put back Prismatic Ending. And we're going to put back a... I think what we do at this point is we just plan to Plow all their threats. We're going to probably go get a Plains. And then this Force of Will and Snapcaster is what we use to stop whatever that is they're going to do here. So I can instep Plow one, and then I can attack. Because they're probably going to attack. So I can Plow one, and that gives me an extra damage. And by the way, they're like up all the way to the mana that you would need to... I'm trying to think if it makes sense to go ahead and Plow now. Because now, if they tap, it's only 1 green mana. I think it is correct to go ahead and just Plow now and reduce the mana they can produce this turn. But they're going to be able to start eyeing for stuff next turn anyway. So I feel incredibly unfavored. I think this is like a 2 or 3% chance to win type matchup right now. Do I want to counter this? If I counter this, I can't counter this. Never mind. Okay, I can counter whatever it is they're about to cast now. I hope they go all in on something big. Don't be that freaking Wasescape Battle Mage. All right, I'm done. I'm not a fan of this deck. That's so frustrating. So frustrating. We couldn't counter any of that stuff. Yeah, like, I just don't want to play against this deck ever again. Like, I would love it if they just banned it into existence. I'm just going to be completely candid. Like, it is just not fun to play against a deck that double stone range you on turn 3 or whenever, and then double stone range you again. And, you know, then uncounterably exiles like your one permanent that you're like desperately clinging Protect the Queen to. Yeah, so unfun. All right, we're going to do better in round 3. Round 3 starts now. And this is why you look people up. Our opponent is likely on Necrodominance. So we have a great hand. We do have a force in our hand. I think they kept 7. Like they also play Epic Gamble. So most likely they are going to be playing something degenerate. Let's see, what is this UBG? Yeah, this is oops. Or Necrodominance also. So yeah. All right. Okay, Elvish Spirit Guide, Metamorphose is fine. Every card that they get out of their hand is a card that we don't have to worry about being Pact of Negation. Because maddeningly, their deck plays Pact of Negation in addition to all the other stuff they're playing. There's the Dark Writ. Beseech. I'm going to force this. I've found that you generally do want to force the actual Beseech. Oh, wait, they had a freaking Chancellor in play? I didn't see that. Yeah, we just unnecessarily showed them a bunch of stuff. They wouldn't have necessarily won, but they're like 90+% to win. Yeah, that sucks. I didn't see the Chancellor. I guess that's totally my bad. That's a punt on my part. Okay, so let's get our head on straight. And so Necrodominance, we're bringing in Lavinia. I can check the, I can consult the guide here. Okay, so stack-based Necrodominance. So -2 spellbomb, -4 Plow, -1 Pre-war, -1 Stoneforge. I think we could probably take out all the Stoneforge. And we can take out Caldra. My reasoning is Null. How many artifacts does this deck even play? It just plays Chrome Mox and Lotus Spell. I don't think Null-Rod's worth it. So Bowmasters does stop what they're doing. They are playing some red cards, which, I mean, we're basically just looking to interact any way we meaningfully can. Consign, obviously, is okay against them. Surgical's not good. Prismatic Ending, I don't think out of the board, do they play any permanents that are worth hitting? I don't think so. Like, they're like an all-in turn 1 win type deck. And wait, this isn't the right deck. This is the newest version of the deck. Yeah, I was talking with Joyful Waffle, and we're frustrated that people play these types of decks because it's just unfun for people that are new to Legacy, and it basically makes like an entire category of the format like not very good. Like Death and Taxes is a great deck. It's fun to play. It's very skill intensive, but you queue into this with Death and Taxes, and it's a bloodbath. All right, so Plows come out. I mean, Necro, do they ever use their graveyard in any way? So they're using Chancellor in addition to, no, as a substitute for, oh, no, they have Pact as well. Yeah, it's frustrating. There's a very high likelihood that we're just not going to have much of a game here. Thoughtseize is good. I think the spellbombs can come out, and I could probably bring these in. I mean, it's a blue card for force. It sounds bad, but I don't think spellbomb does a damn thing here. Prismatic Ending is terrible, but at least we could like get a Mox with it. Yeah. We just have to stop the initial volley. If we get a Lavinia in play, the game's over probably. All right. This is not keepable. Like, they're going to go turn 1. This doesn't have any land in it, and it wouldn't be keepable anyway. This is a keep. Double Force of Will. We put back the Plains. And we put back Prismatic Ending. We'll get a surveil land. I mean, stopping their combo is not GG. Like, we still have to worry about them building back. If they have... All right, black. Is this a Thoughtseize? Is this a Dark Ritual coming out? Yeah, Dark Ritual. Necro. So I'm going to force this. Before I force it, I always double check to make sure that they don't have some, trigger. Pact. I'm going to let Pact resolve. Now I'm going to force a second time. That way they still die to the Pact and we don't have to fight them if this works. Okay, we won. Wow. Okay, so that was good. Like counting on their Pact to kill them is a really good game plan. And it shows that we really don't need that many win cons in the deck. All right. I'm trying to think if there's any reason to bring in surgical here. I don't think there is. So we have to win on the play now. Or on the draw. So they're going to bring in their Veil of Summers for sure. We've got every single blue card in our deck here. Yeah, they're playing Tree of Trails. I'm not sure why they play that. That is an artifact that we could potentially stop. Oh, Vault of Whispers. I do kind of think that it's worth bringing this in. So I'm going to bring in Null Rod. And I'm going to take out a Prismatic Ending. That way we still have a high density of blue. If for some reason they pass, we can Thoughtseize them, which will be good. So I'll tell you, I can understand why people play Eldrazi, but I just don't understand why people would play this. And I don't understand why people would play the other deck that I don't understand is the Cascade deck, which thankfully nobody plays anymore because of Vexing Bubble. Okay, so I think we don't... This doesn't save us turn one. If they just untap and do it, then we're dead. Let's see if they're mulliganing. They are mulliganing. And if we don't mulligan... I mean, it's possible that they don't go for a turn one, like that they go for a Veil of Summerline. I'm trying to think of a situation in which they do that. And then consign is okay. But even then, this is not a great hand. I'm going to mulligan this. Okay, this is a force hand. We have Thoughtseize. I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to put Archive on the bottom. And I'm going to hope that we get a turn. If we get 2 turns, Lavinia will shut the game down. So turn 1, we're going to Thoughtseize. Turn 2, we're going to... Okay, they're mulling to 4. I don't know if they can have a turn 1 hand with 4 cards in it. 3. So, land, Dark Ritual. 2. Okay, I think we might win this one, actually. I'm glad we did the Disciplined mulligan anyway. It's just good practice. Because, you will encounter people playing this sort of stuff. Okay, so we're going to Thoughtseize them. So, Underground Sea. Thoughtseize. What's your last card? Necro. Oh, we'll take it. They haven't conceded yet. Well, we're getting some lag. They don't actually have a way to dig for Necro. Okay, good games. Have fun. Have a fun league there. Playing non-games all day. Okay, so I think that this deck, because it's 60 card, I'm used to playing an 80 card deck and the force density is much lower. But even without force negation, which a lot of people are not playing force negation in this deck because you do have Thoughtseize, you do have consign. If you get a turn, things get a lot better for you. But it is a little nerve-wracking playing without force negation in the sideboard. So we're 2-0. We're going into game 3 or round 3. So we've only lost to Eldrazi, but we lost in a catastrophic way. STRGN7. They seem to be a control mage. Against a control mage, is this hand any good? The Cauldron automatically kind of makes it a mulligan. Oh, they're a fan. Okay, so let's go ahead and mulligan here. I think the Cauldron is automatically a mulligan. This is much better. Much, much better. Because we're basically going to put them to the test with Frog. And then we're going to keep putting them to the test. And then assuming they're not exiling, assuming they're killing, which is a big assumption, then Pre-war comes in and it's pretty good. Cauldron is notoriously bad. But we are playing a card that a lot of Stoneblade players are not playing, which is, I'm going to keep this and I'll talk while they play. I think we put back, I'm going to put back Brainstorm. It's good to draw it later. I like the flexibility of Ponder early. But we're going to be like dropping 2 drops every turn. Okay, Thoughtseize is fine. I think they're probably going to take a Frog. They might take a Mystic, but whatever they're taking is going to end up in our graveyard, so Pre-war is going to be good. I was worried that they'd be playing like exile-based removal, but if they open Underground Sea into Thoughtseize, they're probably not doing that. They may be on blue-black tempo. I mean, if they like my content, like I have a lot of blue-black tempo videos. Okay, and they do opt for Stoneforge. So the risk of playing these, that's a pretty good card. I think what we do is we just island and we ponder here. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for another land because I think on a blue-black strategy, they're almost certainly playing Wasteland. I'm trying to think of the last time I saw a blue-black deck that wasn't playing Wasteland other than Doomsday. Force would be okay. This is great. This is excellent. It's just a question of whether we get a chance to resolve this stuff. But what I'm going to do is I definitely don't want second Stoneforge to be taken. I am kind of worried now that if they do have a Wasteland, we deploy a Frog, maybe they daze it, they push it, and then they waste us, and we're just chilling. So that is kind of scary. But it's very hard for me to put away a Stoneforge Mystic when they just Thoughtseize one out of our hand. So if this is blue-black tempo, it's a Dazed Wasteland deck. If this is blue-black Reanimator, it's a Dazed Wasteland deck. If this is Bug Beans, which I would be very excited about because they just played that. Oh, wow. All right, maybe they're on Esper Stoneblade too. Okay, so Frog. So I think what we do here, I am deathly afraid that they are going to waste us, but I do think the play is to just plow the Frog. I'll just do it now. I could definitely end here, but I am afraid that they have a daze. Okay, great. Frog is gone. Like, they're probably a more aggressive deck than us. Like, we're generally a control deck. Like, we're probably not the beatdown role here. They may be looking for a Wasteland. They have seen my hand and they know I didn't have any other lands. And as I said earlier in the video, like, as long as your mana is underneath you, this deck is very powerful. But the moment your mana is not underneath you, you're looking at hands of 2 drops and you're not able to cast them. This might be Beanstalk. Loam. Okay, well, that's a cool... Oh, like, whatever they're playing is really cool. All right. I think the highest upside is going Frog first. Even though it's likely to get pushed, then we'll Stoneforge and we'll go get the equipment. It's worth noting that even if they don't push this, if they plow it instead, because they do have access to black, I can still return the other Stoneforge when I get the equipment. And I kind of wish I went ahead and Stoneforged there because I could shuffle my deck, and I think I can't remember exactly which card is on top right now, but it's not a land, and I really want land. If for some reason they struggle to find removal, then we're in a good situation, but I always assume that my opponent's going to draw at least 1 or 2 removal spells. All right, so they're playing out a land. There's the Plow. It's worth noting that they now have Mystic Sanctuary, which I imagine is in their deck. They are not shuffling their Ponder, but they can always like loam stuff off that they don't want if they need to. Oh, so Cauldra. I think that's actually a card that I hadn't seen. I'm going to go ahead and Stoneforge, and I'm going to get Pre-war. Okay, it's resolving. The main thing is just, let's see, definitely Pre-war here. I mean, like, a single Wasteland would have completely sunk me for this game. They are probably a bigger control deck than we are, judging by what they're doing here. So I'm interested in seeing a deck that plays both Thoughtseize and Life from the Loam, because I feel like Thoughtseize is... They're stretching their mana pretty far into 4 colors here. I would be stunned if they're not playing Beanstalk. Okay, another Frog. I think we just end this Frog. Tamiyo doesn't change anything. I'm going to attempt to end the Frog. At the very worst, they're going to have to jump the Frog, because I would probably... No, I wouldn't put Stoneforge in front of it. Wow, that worked. Oh, I should have attacked there. I mean, maybe not. Maybe they have like Hull Breacher or something that could jump in front of it. I don't know. I need to keep this around though to get Pre-war out. I'm just waiting for that first wasteland. There's another Plow. Okay, so that's we're up a card. We've got tons of cards. Even though they've loaned, we technically have more cards in our hand than they do. Please give me a land. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to play a frog here. I'm just going to keep making them have answers. They could have Hardcast Force here, which is fine. I'm just really trying to like tread water until I can find land. Force does put this in my graveyard. Okay. All right. So basic planes confirmed. Yep, that's fine. I've got nothing but 2 drops. As long as you don't have a wasteland for me, I'm just going to keep playing them. Ponder. Don't find wasteland. All right, brainstorm. Fetching. Other basic. Something big. Lorien revealed. Okay. That refills your hand. I mean, man, look at all the lands they have. I'm so envious. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So like basically for like at least 5 turns, I haven't drawn a land. Okay, I finally drew the land. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Okay, I think there's a chance that Pre-war gets forced, but it's just too good to pass up. The other option is like I could Tamiyo and I could frog, but I think I'm just going to put one threat out there. I'm going to put the Stoneforge in play. And then I'll go get the... Let's see, if Stoneforge comes in, I think Stoneforge is better because if this gets plowed, it's not a big deal. I got value out of it. Okay, wow, it's actually resolving. That's great. So let's go get our Cryptic Coat and we'll pass. And I think Cryptic Coat in hand, maybe they're not going to realize that I also could have Cauldra. They're already at 13 just through damage to themselves. That's after I've plowed one of their threats too. Beanstalk. We knew that was going to come eventually. They could just take over the game from here. They've cast only one of their 4 Force of Wills. There's a Psychic Frog. There's a Tamiyo. That'll be pretty easy to flip with their Beanstalk and their Psychic Frog. All right. So I think if I ponder, then I increase the likelihood of drawing into a force, which I will happily pitch Tamiyo to force here. I think I'm going to go for it. Thoughtseize is pretty good. I think if we Thoughtseize, then we can probably Plow. I do want that land pretty badly. I think that land is... what do I want to do here? I just want to clear the way for a Plow. I think that's the most important thing. This Psychic Frog is the least important thing. So I'll go like that. You Thoughtseize me, turn 1, and now I'm going to return the favor. Brainstorm. Okay. This doesn't change what they're likely to have. It does actually flip Tamiyo, so once I remove Psychic Frog, I can just attack and kill Tamiyo. So this is actually really good for us. So I'll just take any interaction they have. Nothing. Okay, well, that is fine, actually. I'm not that worried about that. I just wanted to clear a path for removing your frog, but now I can take your Tamiyo too, so that's great. I'm feeling pretty decent here. They've got 2 lands in hand, which, I mean, they are going to draw, like, they could have more Lorien revealed or something like that and draw 4 cards. That's probably the scariest thing they can do here. Another Beanstalk. That's pretty scary too. Okay, another frog. It's worth noting that even if I attack, they have to discard 2 cards, and I can still put in Cauldra after I attack. I think that's pretty good. The most they could discard would be 2. I think I was just going to attempt to hit them. Oh, and I get to draw a card. I forgot about that. Don't want to forget that. All right, so let's go ahead and attack. And let's see if they block. I don't think they're going to block. Okay, so options. 1, we could just play our own Psychic Frog, and we have Frog Supremacy, at least for the moment. I think that's fine. And then we can just put Cryptic Coat in at the end step. Cryptic Coat could be a surprise blocker, but they're going to have a graveyard, so it's not like it's going to be that important. They could have like some sort of board wipe, which would be pretty annoying. I am going to play this. All right, let's just pass. Murktide. There's the big Murktide. Can't do anything about this. I'm just going to let it happen. They get to draw 2 cards. It's like a Mull Drifter that also, isn't like an 8-drop or 8/8. Okay, and now Psychic Frog, they have supremacy. If they can find another Murktide, then we're super duper dead. Okay, they're growing it by jumping. So I don't think we block here. I think that would be a fool's errand, considering the density of cards in their hand. I'm just going to let that come in. All right, they're just drawing 1 card. All right, another Tamiyo. They could flip her immediately if they want to. I'm going to go get... I'm not going to respect like non-basic land hate out of this 4-color deck. I think the best card to get is just another Tundra. And we are going to deploy our Cryptic Coat. Let's see what we cloak. Leyline Binding. Okay. So I can't bounce Cryptic Coat back to hand. They get to draw a bunch of cards. They're going to flip Tamiyo, but Tamiyo is going to be vulnerable. They should take Cryptic Coat. Yeah, and that's what they take. Okay, well, that's not a permanent I can remove. All right, so 11 life. Let's think about this. We still get the card. That's great. Oh, now spellbomb. It's not. I can't flip it. It has to be a creature. Okay, so options. 1, we attack with Stoneforge, and we put in... Wait, how did Tamiyo not flip when they leyline bind? I guess they already drew 3 cards for the turn. That's why. Okay. So we can attack with Pre-war, and then after we've attacked, we could put in Caldra and we could hit them really hard. Can they kill us on the backswing? They have 9. They can exile a bunch of cards. They can really make this Murktide strong. If we throw a Tamiyo down, though, then that kind of like chumps. I'll tell you one thing that I think, though. I don't think we win if we don't attack with everything here. I'm going to be crazy and I'm going to attack with everything. Oh, no. I can't put Caldra in after I've attacked. Yeah, I screwed that up. I thought, I can attack and then I can put Caldra in, but that's not how Pre-war works. What I am going to do is I'm going to hit their graveyard. The reason I'm going to do this now is that way I can just definitely chump. Is that right? Yeah, because I can definitely chump with Psychic Frog. I can definitely chump with Tamiyo if they don't have a removal spell. And I can take away their ability to... Well, they'll be able to fly with Psychic Frog. This is a, kind of a silly exercise, the fact that I'm even still playing this game. I've definitely lost. Okay, Wasteland. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and float white here. See if they do anything else before going to combat. If they have another Leyline Binding, or they can... Okay, so they are doing stuff before combat. That's fine. All right, now I'll just go ahead and put Caldra in. Shouldn't be too surprising. Okay, they're going to go ahead and just... Yeah, let's concede. There's no point in continuing to play. They're about to hit me for a lot. Like, technically, I can survive for a turn probably by double jumping, but yeah, this Murktide is going to be the death of us. So they are the bigger control deck, for sure. Let's go ahead and see. I do have like a blue-white X listed over here. So -2 spellbomb, +2 bowmaster. Those are the only changes I make. Against Beanstalk, Lavinia is kind of good though, but we don't actually have a way of keeping their land count low. They do have a pretty greedy mana base, so Harbinger might be able to surprise them. But really, Thoughtseize is way better than those cards. I think Thoughtseize is much more likely to have an impact than those cards. So yeah, I'm going to run it like this. So I think on game 3, if there's a game 3, I will probably bring in Harbinger. They do have basics, but if they don't have a basic plains, it really screws them up. I think this is fine. I can I can Stoneforge to get a Cryptic Coat. I think that's fine. And then I'll have a card to pitch to force. I'm not going to play on basics. They didn't show me a single wasteland, or they did show me a wasteland. But I'm going to fetch my Mystic Sanctuary, or a Meticulous Archive here. And then I'll Stoneforge next turn. Time is fine. So they could definitely have cards like... what Well, I'm sorry. Carpet of flowers. And that would be a reason not to do what I'm doing here, but I think I'm going to keep that just as insulation. Now, if they force this, then I'll be in trouble. I think I lead with Tundra just so I don't subject any of my colors to risk. All right, it didn't get countered. That was what I was really afraid of. Like, we can definitely deal with Tamiyo. I'm going to get Cryptic Coat, though. I'm getting some lag from MTGO. Okay, it worked. All right, we'll pass. So if they flip her, it's not that big of a problem with our deck because a single Caldra strike will kill her. But if they plow and they have Brainstorm, then that could be a problem. A problem for which I'd probably be willing to force. So in my opinion, like the main card you force in this matchup is Beanstalk itself, and I will be doing that. It does not matter how many resources you use, you have to stop Beanstalk. And even if they force back, that's a force they're not going to draw a card off with Beanstalk. All right, so option. I think Cryptic Code is maybe safer than Caldra, just because Caldra comes out and then like we don't have any counterplay. I'm going to definitely put this strand out though. So I think I am going to go ahead and play this out and hope that they don't have a plow. And then if they do have a plow, I will force because we have to be the aggressor here. We're not winning games where we like hang back. They have like a much better late game than we do. Okay, let's go ahead and go to attack. If they allow us to, I will force this. Okay, they didn't veil me, which is great. I was worried they would veil. So this is an opportunity where we could plow, but they could potentially flip her. I think I'm going to wait. I want to wait one more turn. Yeah, if they have Brainstorm, she's flipped. And a lot, like the way my play style is if I have a Brainstorm in hand, I'm just going to keep her around and hope that I can get bait a removal spell out of their hand. They are getting close to being able to just get that plow back. Next turn, they'll be able to get the plow back with Mystic Sanctuary. So let's get our other Surveil land. And we are looking for like Frog, another Stoneforge. Oh, Snapcaster's fine. It's not bad at all. All right. So what I'll do is I'm going to start by playing the land out. Now I'm going to attack with both. If they plow, there's nothing I can do, right? But we have to hope that this works. So we have plow if they have some sort of instant speed creature they put in. And then we can plow, snap, plow with the mana available to us. That's a very good target for... Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and plow now. Unfortunately, I don't think snapping a plow back to kill that is... I mean, keeping my Stoneforge around, is it worth it? We get rid of their token and we prevent them from killing our Stoneforge. I think that's fine. I'm going to do that. Okay, so we're doing 6 damage. We successfully navigated that. We actually have even more damage next turn, but they could have another Bowmasters. Bowmasters is really good. Beanstalk, we can't stop that. So this is where things get scary. And if they start drawing like Leyline Binding and stuff like that, we get in trouble very quickly. They do have Leyline Binding type mana. If they go get a Savannah, they can 2 mana to... Oh, Carpet, that's scary too. Oh, they can crack a bunch of clues here. They can flip Tamiyo. They can do a lot. I don't regret any of the decisions I made this game. I'm not sure about last game. I might have made some misplays. But this game, I feel like I've been playing pretty tight. So 4 mana. This Leyline Binding. Okay, clue. So that flips. They're going to probably plus her. Plow. That's unfortunate. And now Tamiyo is able to take over the game on their side of the table. I'm trying to think, like we could draw like a prismatic ending. Oh, another Stoneforge. We've already pitched. Okay, so option. We could Stoneforge. I think we go ahead and attack Tamiyo and maybe like something happens to our Snapcaster. I don't know. But that's really the only thing that, like, if we get pre-war and I do think we need to attack her and keep her from ultimating. I think just getting 1 damage on them is not the fight right here. So white, black. So let's think about, like, had we decided to plow Tamiyo when we were flashing back instead, then we wouldn't be dealing with this flip Tamiyo. Okay, so we can put this in an instant speed and then use it to equip and then deal more damage. I think we'll probably actually do that if they don't do anything in step. I do want to have the option of plowing a frog if they play, but I can do that next turn. Okay, adding a ton of blue. Clue. 6 cards in hand. All the mana they could ever ask for. Beanstalk in play. Ponder. So even if Pre-war Formalwear equips this, it gets +2/+2. It's not going to kill it in 1 turn cycle. It's going to be several turn cycles. I think this game is slipping away very quickly. I do think this is a winnable matchup, but it's a tough matchup because they have exile-based removal, and that's really good against Caldera. And Caldera is our main way of closing games. It could have been a mistake to pitch the Cryptic Coat. My instinct was, let's apply pressure with Caldera, but had we had Cryptic Coat and then they hadn't dealt with it, we'd be in pretty good. We'd be in a good place right now. So I think it's very likely that they have a force in their hand for this plow. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and use this now. So assuming they don't have any interaction, we can get in. Oh, that's a good draw. Unfortunately, we do only get 1 shot at this. The equipped is 2 or 3. Okay, so we're not going to be able to equip. So, but I do think we had to get rid of that. So let's go ahead and attack, and we will pass. And we got nothing going on. They still got tons of mana. We're getting the spinner. I mean, knocking 1 loyalty. I'm going to concede this. There's no way we're going to win this. All right. So we are 2-2 going into the final round. Final round against an unknown opponent. I like this hand a lot. I'll be really sad if they just, oops us or something because we have no counterplay here. But this is, I mean, we can go island into Tamiyo and then we can get a Stoneforge in and we can be accumulating clues. If they're playing a fair deck, this is a really strong hand. Okay. Brainstorm. Casual main phase brainstorm. They may be a combo player because that's one of the first things you learn is don't main phase brainstorm. But if they have a Troll of Khazad-dûm in your hand, you can do that. I think we're just going to play like we're playing limited and just curve. So Doomsday vibes for sure. With the blue-black and the pedal, but it could be Epic Storm. But whenever you see a pedal, nothing good's coming out of that thing, you know? Okay, so I'm going to go... I don't want to get my mana disrupted. I've got access to all my colors. I'm just going to go ahead and get an island. And we're going to Tamiyo, and we're going to, hope that there's going to be a game here and that we're not just going to get destroyed. If they are on Doomsday or on the Epic Storm, then they're pretty light on removal, so Psychic Frog will be the first threat that we deploy. It has the highest upside. You can definitely race combo decks with Stoneforge Mystic, but I don't think it's not great. Yeah, we're not going to fetch here. We're definitely going to cast something. I'm just going to go ahead and do this first. Okay, we got the clue. The clue is not more valuable than the possibility of us drawing an extra card next turn. So I'll just play that and we'll pass. Okay, end step brainstorm. Yeah, they Doomsday, we can pitch our entire hand to Psychic Frog and maybe end the game quickly that way. That is one nice thing about playing Psychic Frog as opposed to playing Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah, if they Doomsday, they'll go down to 9, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we would have 7, 8. So we can't quite kill them with Psychic Frog if they Doomsday here. If they do anything, well, they'd have to pay 2 life somehow beforehand. Okay, there's their Tamiyo. So I'm definitely getting the vibes that they're on the Tamiyo Doomsday list. My cat is making a move for my omelet, and I am going to let her. I'm going to let her. Don't tell mom. All right. Okay, spellbomb doesn't really do anything. I would happily trade. I would happily trade a few cards in hand to kill their Tamiyo. So I'm going to go ahead and attack here. See if they block. If they are on Doomsday, it makes sense to get damage on them, but we can get damage afterward. Like it shouldn't substantially affect the clock. Okay, Force is a great pickup. That makes me feel a lot better. I do think we Stoneforge here. I'll just hold the spellbomb in hand, and I'll have this Daze Protection up. All right, so I think Cryptic Code is actually pretty good here. I think it's better than Stoneforge, just in case they remove Stoneforge. We don't have anything in our graveyard for pre-war to be good for. Cryptic Code is an additional blue card for Force if we need it. Maybe getting Cauldron was the right call there, just in case they do try to go off real quick. But I think we've got it covered with the cards we have on the table. So if they need to crack into their Doomsday pile, they have a card to do that now off the clue. We may want to prioritize flipping Tamiyo next turn instead of playing a clue, because if we flip her, then we can potentially regrow the Force. We could play Spellbomb, crack Spellbomb, draw a clue, or if we just connect with Psychic Frog, then we can do that. They're veiling. Okay, so they're on some Storm deck. So the option here is we treat this like this is a legit threat, and we show strength by just forcing here. I'm going to do that. I'll pitch Snapcaster. I'd rather have Cryptic Coat just to deal the final blow here. Maybe they combo anyway. But in my experience, if they do like one of these in the blind, you scare them. That's what you want to do. But now that they've cast Veil of Summer, I'm pretty confident that they are not on Doomsday, because I've never seen Doomsday play this, like not recently. This combination of cards. I've never seen a deck with this combination of cards. But the Epic Storm wouldn't play Basic Swamp. They might be on some Ad Nauseam type deck. Okay, third Brainstorm. They're flipping their Tamiyo, which is fine. We could actually next turn Stoneforge into Cauldron, and then we could take out Tamiyo that way. But the fact that they're casting Veil makes me think that they have like a win or a near win in hand already. But hitting Tamiyo does prevent her from being able to regrow Veil, which could be problematic. By Stoneforging for Cauldron, we are keeping the Cryptic Code in our hand. LED. Okay, they may go for it here. They forgot to plus their Tamiyo. There's the Dark Ritual. Okay, they're going for it. Oh, Cabal Ritual. Yeah, that's a lot of mana. Okay, I think they're casting a Beseech here. Yep, and we'll see what they've got 7 Storm count. So if they Beseech one more time, they do have Lethal Tendrils, but they would need more mana for that. If they echo or do something like that, then I will be happy, because that will at least give us a chance to draw a Force, since we did stop their Veil. The fact that they didn't even bother plussing the Tamiyo does give me a lot of pause, like, oh no, what's going on here? Oh, if they get freaking... Yes. Oh, wait, what? Why do they discard Veil? Oh, they discarded all their stuff. Okay. So they cannot win through Beseech for Tendrils. They're going to have to Gaia's Will. And in which case, had I played out the Spellbomb, we would have denied them this avenue. But unfortunately, this Veil does resolve. I have cast a blue card, so they do get a card. They have enough mana to Veil again. Okay. And they can Cabal Therapy, and then they can go and Beseech. But they don't have something to sack to the Beseech. But they could just play Lion's Eye Diamond. I think at this point we can safely have 6. It's just a question of how fancy they want to get. Yeah, like playing out the Spellbomb actually would have been consequential there. And it didn't occur to me to do that because I thought they were still on Doomsday, and I wanted the ability to play through Days, but they're probably not playing Days. Okay, there's the LED that they can use with the Beseech. Oh, they're just going to add more mana? What are they doing over there? There's another Brainstorm. I mean, like, you have a deterministic line. Oh, they might not realize that I don't have Consign, but like it's game 1. I wouldn't have Consign in my deck. They can Beseech sacking the Petal, and then they can go get Tendrils and kill me. Okay, So show me the tendrils and let's move on. Thoughtseize? Okay. I guess they have another beseech that they can use here. They are getting extra information. I'm not going to scoop. Okay, so now they can beseech and sack that. And now they can kill me. And if they want, they can even get something like Grape Shot and kill me because their storm is so high. Just going to make sure they didn't misclick. Choose something other than tendrils. Radstorm? I don't have any freaking counters. How are they going to kill me? What does this do? Oh, are they going to Tamiyo ultimate here? This is ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry, but like, okay, yeah, you can Tamiyo ultimate now. This is the most convoluted win I've ever seen. Do you not play tendrils in your main deck? All right, so they're going to click through this a whole lot. I mean, this might be the odd Storm player that goes to time with how... yeah, this is the true Rube Goldberg machine deck right here. Radstorm's a cool card. Don't get me wrong. I like Storm. I think Epic Storm... Like, earlier I was complaining about, turn 0 win decks like Oops and like Necrodominance, but I don't have anything against Storm. I think it's fine. It's just... yeah. I mean, they can ultimate twice if they want. It's just ultimate. And if for some reason they don't kill me past the turn, they clearly don't know how to yield to triggers. Just a quick update. I just finished my omelet. It was delicious. Shout out to my wife for just being a chill human being that makes omelets while I'm doing a league. So they drew 20 cards, played a whole bunch of artifact mana. Storm is 26. Okay. We're super duper dead. I could actually make them click through this. That would be like super duper cheesy, but like, I think I am going to make them click through it. I'll come back. Cause I mean, they used like 10 minutes to go off basically. Not 10 minutes, probably like 7 or 8 minutes. And no shade at all to my opponent. Like when I was first using MTGO, like really just like earlier this year, I think is the first time I started using it. But I think they actually have to click through all of these. Okay, yeah, and now my life total is going away, and their life total is going really high. Storm 26. Okay, so had I played out that Null spellbomb, but now I have the gift of knowledge. I know what they're playing, and it's going to be a little bit harder for them to beat me because I'm going to be bringing in cards like Orcish Bowmasters. We didn't see any red at all, but I am going to bring in Consign for sure. Null Rod definitely comes in. Okay, so these are in. Cards that are coming out. We did see Tamiyo, but Tamiyo alone is not rationale for keeping Plow in my humble opinion. Prismatic can deal with that. I do think we take out the Spellbomb. Like, it would have been good in that very specific situation, but it's not a good card overall against them. And then often in this situation, I'll take out one Stoneforge and one Pre-war because they're not going to go after our creatures. Let's take a look at my sideboard guide before I submit. Yeah, so this is basically the exact plan that I had. And in some cases, if they're on a lot of red, then you bring in Hydroblast and Consign, and that feels really good. But since we didn't see any red, I'm not going to do that just to, speculate. They did cast a lot of spells that game. So they seem to be like a blue, black, green version. All right, so Consign's particularly good. Not only does it stop Storm Trigger, but it does counter a lot of stuff that they can cast. This is a great hand against them. I think we're just going to open Thoughtseize because we want to get the Vial out of their hand before they can use it. And unfortunately, we're going to just chill until we draw another land. Cryptic Code is almost certainly going to be the force. If Lavinia can resolve, she basically wins the game. They may have some removal on their deck, but we'll take a look when we Thoughtseize. They kept 7. It is certainly possible that they are playing Carpet of Flowers, but I'm just not going to... I could grab the Scrubland here, but I do want to be able to ponder and consign on subsequent turns. All right, show me your secrets. Serum Snare. This is some sick art. I love it. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand if that permanent had a mana 3 or less. Proliferate. Okay, why proliferate? What's so good about proliferate? I guess you really just want to ultimate Tamiyo, because that was the only card that I saw that would benefit from proliferation. I think Beseech is the take here. Echo can be stopped. Yeah, I don't think that this is particularly strong. Yeah, I'll just take the Beseech. That's like the I win card. Echo, at least we get some cards if they manage to force that through. All right, Snapcaster Mage is now something I want to get after I get some mana. Okay. Land, please. Oh, I do think we go ahead and play this out because it just shuts off so many things they can do. Yes, they can spend a turn bouncing it back to our hand. I like the idea of keeping extra blue up. I'm going to do that. So I think they're almost certainly just going to bounce this back to hand. But we're forcing them to do that as a play. And then we can just cast it again. They passed into main 2 before playing a land for some reason. I'm pretty sure they do have a Misty Rainforest in there. There we go. So Echo Vion simply cannot be cast while Lavinia is out. They may do like instep, but I think that means I can't recast her. Oh, I wish that I had another land. I'm going to go ahead and attack and see if they bounce her. So as much as I would like to ponder to find... Okay, I think they're going to bounce her. In which case, I'm just going to recast her. I would love to have this stuff up, but having Lavinia up is good enough on its own. On her own. Abrupt Decay. Well, that's a good card. Yeah, I can't do anything about that. Okay, so... I do think Ponder is good. I want to develop. Consign is fine. They're not likely going to be able to force. They may play force. They do have a lot of blue cards. I think I'm going to ponder. Wait, I think I'm going to blue ponder because if I find Thoughtseize, I'm definitely going to want to cast Thoughtseizes again. Okay, this is the land. Stoneforge doesn't matter. Consign will be nice next turn. I do want to play the Strand now, though. And now, in case of an absolute emergency, I do have Consign. Teferi is really strong. If we can resolve him. Okay, Petal. That's a new card for turn. So they still have Serum Snare for target non-land permanent. I'm fine if they want to do that against my Teferi because I'll just draw another card. And we are trying to kind of like 2-for-1 them and stuff right here. Dark Ritual, they're going for something here. I love to see it. Thoughtseize. Well, this isn't good. However, I'm going to let them do it. I still have Consign up. And if they pass the next turn, I will also have a Consign. Even if they take the Consign, I'll draw a new one. They took Teferi. Interesting. So I don't think they're going to do anything here. They'd be crazy. Do we care? We actually don't have a lot of good ways to deal with this in our deck. If we force here, though, that means that Echo Vions is there. We could just Cryptic Coat, and then they have to jump it. And they also have to, they don't have to. Let's see. So we do have a Stoneforge, but Stoneforge being under Cryptic Coat isn't particularly advantageous. Also, Stoneforge won't be on under Cryptic Coat anymore after we flood a Strand. Yeah, I didn't see this last game, so I took out my Plows, and the only answers we have are the 2 Prismatic Endings. I think I do want to force this pitching Consign. Then I'll draw a new Consign. They'll still have to have a discard outlet for Echo before they can use it. And then they're just kind of floating this black mana here, which I don't think does anything. What? I guess they brainstormed, so they found it there. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, well, we're in trouble. I'm kind of thinking now that I don't even want that Consign. Because this itself can solo us. They can actually discard the Echo and then cast it next turn if they have another mana source. They have nothing in hand, but they could have Echo on top. I'm going to go ahead and Surveil. If we find a Snapcaster, that's really... Actually, that's not good. Yeah, this is not good. I'm going to put that away. Okay, so ponder. If we ponder, then we definitely can't deploy Cryptic Coat against an empty board. I kind of think that Cryptic Coat might be good. I'm going to ponder. Because at this point, like, finding almost any creature would be good. Tamiyo. Okay, so Tamiyo can block, and then we have the Brainstorm thing, and then we have Thoughtseize. This is really strong, actually. So I'm going to go ahead and deploy Tamiyo first. They'll have to bounce it if they want to get through. So I'm going to go boom, boom, boom. Okay, and now I'll just deploy her. Yeah, and they're going to have to discard. So this will keep Frog from connecting for at least a turn. This is a real challenge. Like, this is a squirrely deck that they've assembled here. I thought when I resolved Lavinia, like, that's probably game, but I was wrong. Okay, that is totally fine if you want to attack me. Are you going to bounce Tamiyo? Okay. Discarding Echo. Well, I am just going to block. All right. And now we have Brainstorm, we have Thoughtseize. But we can't Thoughtseize the top of their deck, and they could very well have... okay, so I'm going to go ahead and attack first. Create a clue. Now what I want to do is find my own frog. That would be really good. Oh, Snapcaster is great. Snapcaster can buy back Ponder. Can buy back Thoughtseize, which isn't useful. Yeah, it's not actually that great. The other option is I could just play the land and then Cryptic Coat. I don't think Thoughtseize is ever going to play a part because I just don't think they're going to have cards in their hand. So I'll put that back. I think, yeah, I'd much rather have an extra land and a Cryptic Coat in play than have a Snapcaster. So she flips. And this extra land will be good later because we've got a clue. Even if they do manage to wheel us. I'm going to grab the Scrubland here just to reduce the amount of... sorry, I'm trying to like complete my thoughts. To reduce the amount of... And there, oh, Null Rod. I wish I could actually play that, but there's nothing I can do about that. Yeah, so they're going to have to jump the Frog if they want to connect. And they're going to have to dump a card, at least one card. Well, no, they don't have to dump a card if they just want to draw. Gosh, I really wish Null Rod were there. If it's a creature card, yeah. So we can't flip it. If they attack in, I'm 100% going to just block. They need to fly. Okay, so they did have the Serum Snare, but this is going to get countered because they didn't read the word thing correctly. Now they don't have a card to pitch, so they have to fly or else their Frog is going to die in combat. They just crossed under 10 minutes as well. So it is possible that this could be the Storm player that goes to time. I am going to play that out. Had they bounced the actual Cryptic Coat itself, that would have worked. Okay, so they are going to fly. They are going to be able to do a damage to Tamiyo, and they are going to be able to draw a card. Frog is getting big enough that it may make sense to go ahead and use Tamiyo's ability to buy back a Thoughtseize because they do have an 8 card in hand, but I just don't think that's... Oh, no, they don't anymore. Okay, cool. So I'm going to untap. I'm going to draw. Please be something good. Oh, that's pretty good. It won't stop Echo because they have the mana now. I think we need to start by drawing a card. I'll just draw like this. See what we draw. Thoughtseize doesn't help us. So we could just dig for Ponder and try to find a Force of Will. I think I'm just going to plus this and just hope that whatever we get off the Echo is good. That might be a mistake. But if it feels like we're really bending over backwards. Like letting our Tamiyo go just to be able to... yeah, I don't like it. I think I'm going to go ahead and do this. I do think... I think attacking in could work. There's no way that they don't flashback Echo here. So if they do something other than Echo for some reason, which I just can't imagine why they wouldn't, but if they do, then we can definitely consign it. I'll just be thrilled if they spend mana for any reason other than Echo of Beyonding here. If they Echo, they are putting a lot of good stuff back in my deck. If they attack with Frog, I will 100% just consign the trigger so they don't draw. Oh, they're casting something? Oh no, it's the Echo, isn't it? They're just tapping really slowly. Yep. All right. Let's go for a spin. Do we get any sort of... No, we get nothing. Nothing that's good. I mean, Lavinia will be good next turn, but if they just kill us now, there's nothing we can do. Also, their Frog can like become gigantic now. If they want to. They could definitely kill Lavinia this... Or they could kill Tamiyo this turn. Okay. They said they had to talk to somebody at their door for a second. I think that if we win this game, there is a legit chance that they won't have time to win the game 3. But I'm not hopeful with the quality of our hand here. Oh, they can't actually even fly. Maybe it was a mistake to attack with Cryptic Coat there because they can't fly. They would have had to discard a bunch of cards. We'll see how many cards they discard here. Okay, they're discarding 1. Actually, if they kill Tamiyo, then what I can do is I can Stoneforge for the armor, and then I can use that to bring back Tamiyo as a creature who can chump for a turn. So if they're going all in trying to kill me, that is something they can do. But it looks like they're going for Tamiyo first. No, wait, they're going for me. Interesting. Well, that means that unfortunately my Tamiyo is not going to do anything here. Yeah, we just got like... It's hard to think of like a worse set of cards we could get off here. I mean, they could all be lands. All right. It's definitely an interesting plan. Maybe they have an Echoes in hand. Oh, so why are they giving it flying? That doesn't make any sense. Okay. So we're going to take a bunch of damage. They're going to draw a card. We're going to die to this Frog. Like we did force the first Frog. No, wait. I think we forced and they actually forced back. I think that's what happened. All right. There's no real benefit to bringing Cryptic Coat back to hand. I mean, it is a blue card. I think I'm going to do it. We'll have a blocker either way. If we find our own Frog, we're not going to have Frog Supremacy. We really just need to rip Prismatic Ending and for them to not have a force. Actually, even if they have a force, we could recast it. Great. All right. Well, how dead are we? They can just jump the Frog. They have 4 cards in hand. We're dead on board. Like there's literally nothing we can do here. I don't think. There's no way we can kill them. We could plus, that does help. I'm trying to think, like, Stoneforge doesn't have anything left to get other than Pre-war. Pre-war does not grant flying. I'm just going to confuse them, but we're dead. Like, if they see the line of just attacking with Frog and pumping it a bunch, we're dead. I would love for them to, like, force here or something. Okay. Oh, disappointing. I feel like we played pretty tight this league. Oh, do we not have anything we can get? I thought we boarded out Pre-war. Okay, that's embarrassing. Well, I'm going to play Lavinia here. I'll play a land. And let's Lavinia here. Maybe I should have played a fetch. I don't think I'll have life to fetch, but okay, they are forcing this. I'm going to plus here, and we're going to be super duper dead. Like, even if we, like, basically we're just chilling, like, next turn too, trying to find a Prismatic Ending. There's nothing else we can do here. Yeah, this is sad the game is ending this way. Because I feel like we had a really good hand and we had, like, all our bases covered, and they just happened to have, a card we couldn't counter in the form of Abrupt Decay, but that would have shut down, the Echo. It would have done a lot of stuff. So there was a turn when I could have pondered, or wait, not ponder. Oh yeah, I could have Tamiyo to get Ponder back. That would have sacrificed my Tamiyo, but then I would have had a possible shot at finding either Prismatic Ending or a Force of Will. And I think that in retrospect, certainly, like, with what we got off our wheel, that would have been the thing that we should have done. So we are representing Plow, but I can't imagine a world in which they don't go all in on this Frog. Okay. They are buffing Psychic Frog to 7. If they dump all their cards, they have exactly enough to kill us. They're attacking Tamiyo instead. Sign me up. They don't even have lethal on Tamiyo. Yeah, I'm gonna block with my useless. Wait, is this useless? This can't put in Caldera or Crypticoat. I think I'm gonna block with this. Yeah. I don't know why they gave us that window to block there. That was obviously a mistake in my mind, because they do have 3 cards that they could have exiled to fly. It's too late. It's already been blocked. Okay. So Tamiyo, we're going to be able to draw our entire deck. That's insane. I never would have guessed that this game would go this direction. Even if we draw our entire deck, there is a decent chance that we don't draw Dark Ritual. Okay, what is this? Is this a Beseech? What is this? What costs 5 mana? Ad nauseum? They just concede. Okay, interesting. Well, I will never know what they were about to cast. I guess I could ask. Yeah, I didn't. That was like a totally unnecessary punt. I never in a million years would imagine we'd still be in this. Okay, so I think Plows can come back in. Plow is not bad. If they are going to be killing our stuff, Pre-war is not the worst. I mean, obviously Consign is good against their deck if they're actually casting their finishing move on us. But until that point, Consign's not actually that great. So we could cut some Consigns. Consign didn't counter anything in that game. There was no target at any point for a card that we could kill with it. Null Rod would have been good if we resolved it. Bowmasters would have been really good. Maybe we don't bring in all the Plows. I think the name of the game is stop them from winning long enough for them to run out of time. So in that vein, maybe Pre-war is not good. Maybe we do like that. And they were taking Teferi out of our hand, which makes me, I think, Prismatic Ending is probably better than Plow. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it like that. So we're not running Consign, but we're running a lot of other stuff. I'm just really afraid of Frog, because Frog was like an angle that I didn't consider because I didn't see a game 1. But I mean, it makes sense. Like if you're playing blue-black, even if you're playing a combo deck, you should probably be playing Frog. So this is not a great hand. It's double Thoughtseize with a force. I think we keep it and we just hope to slow them down again so they time out. I mean, that sounds cowardly. They're mulling to 5. If they Thoughtseize us, then they may be able to just have a line where they kill us. Caldera is basically just a bad card. But with double Thoughtseize, I'm not going to throw away a double Thoughtseize hand. I will pitch Frog rather than Tamiyo. Okay, they do have Thoughtseize. Do we want to let this resolve? If we let it resolve, then bad stuff could happen. I think we have to. Because, I mean, being able to curve Tamiyo into Psychic Frog is still something. Okay, there's LED. Are they going to spin us? We're going for a spin. All right, great. Please actually have like a hand that does something here. Oh, the Caldera again. Such a kick in the face. They still haven't even played their land for turn. So they got like basically a perfect echo there. Yeah, this is bad. Have we forced the Thoughtseize? Maybe they wouldn't have gone forward with it. But like my thinking of forcing Vial is different from forcing Thoughtseize, because the consequences of forcing a Thoughtseize are pretty substantial. Or like an unforced Thoughtseize is not the end of the world, whereas an unforced Vial very well could be the end of the world. Dark Writ. Okay, do they just have the chain? If they take us on another spin, that's not the worst, because our hand is pretty garbage. There's Beseech. But to my knowledge, there's nothing they can get with Beseech here that wins the game. They'll probably have to get an Echo. Gaia's won't do it. Actually, Gaia's could do it because they could Mox and then they could they do it with that? They'd need another mana source. They're just going to Tendrils us for non-lethal? Okay. Yeah, so Baby Tendrils is fine. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do to punish this. Even if we ponder, we're not going to find a blue card. Well, we might draw a blue card. I'm trying to think of what they could have in hand that they're going to try to finish this with. So I think it'd be a mistake not to ponder here just because of momentum. But we're not going to be able to find any interaction. Like that is a very easy shuffle. So many lands. My goodness. I will probably play out bowmasters rather than Stoneforge. Now this represents what's it called? The uncounterable abrupt decay. All right, prismatic ending. Not a bad card, but yeah, I'll just play this out, and I think we pass. I mean, like they definitely could draw into force now. Okay, that is fine. I am going to go ahead and cast this now, just to punish you a little bit, and get myself a creature. And because they're at 1 minute on the clock, and it's extra, extra things they have to deal with. Okay. So we have a poison counter. If they can Radstorm us, we'll die, but I'm not too worried about that. Okay. There's the Tamiyo. Right. So I think at this point, I'm kind of loath to actually use my fetch lands because I am really low. I think going ahead and ending Tamiyo and then just playing a Stoneforge and then attacking is probably fine. We don't really have a lot else going on. I'm going to go get the Cryptic Coat because it's blue, and I think I took the other equipment out. Yeah, I don't think they're likely to have any sort of haste creature that I need to worry about. So I will just attack. Getting their life total lower is, potentially good in case they do try to echo. Wow. I guess they have tons of life, so they don't really care that much. They could still veil these counters, but they're running out of time pretty quickly. I mean, they could still find a way to kill me, though, so I'm not going to get all smug. This is the veil that I thought might be there. Okay, so these are countered. And now, if they have some combination of cards where they can kill us with 2 cards in their hand, we can't do anything about it. We couldn't do anything about it anyway. Playing the pedal. Cracking the pedal for a ponder. Okay. I'll just ping my Orc Army here. I don't think there's any way they can win with 7, 5, 4. Counting down their time. There's like this Justin Timberlake movie where it's like all about like you, like instead of money, you have time. Okay, LED, but it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, good games. That was weird. I definitely, if you had asked me like, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes ago, however long ago we were playing this, if there was any chance of me winning, I would say 0. But we won. And I do think we probably would have won even if they hadn't run out of time, because they, I think the decision to Tendrils there was pretty bad. Like, surely there's something else in their deck that can be impactful. I almost never see Storm players go for non-lethal Tendrils lines. But we won. We 3-2'd. Okay, so we beat... let's take a look at what we lost to. I think we lost to Beanstalk and we lost to Eldrazi. We beat everything else. So that was a pretty long league. But I had fun. I like the deck. The deck felt really strong. The deck still feels weak against combo, but I think that's just par for the course. If you want to go strong against combo, you should play Tempo. Let's take a look one more time at the list. So the reason why Tempo is so strong against combo is because they have 4 extra, practically Force of Wills. Like, a lot of combo decks can't respect Daze, and Daze is just like practically a hard counter for them. The other reason is because, like, if you're playing blue-black Tempo, you can use Thoughtseize. You can do a lot of things. Like here, we're basically trying to lock them out with Lavinia, Null Rod, Orcish Bowmasters. Like, these are basically lock pieces to stop our combo opponents. And of course, everybody has Consign. Everybody has Harbinger. These aren't anything unique to Stoneblade, but Lavinia is. And I guess most blue-black play Orcish, like my blue-black deck plays Orcish Bowmasters on the side. But Null Rod is something that a lot of decks that are blue-black wouldn't need to play because they've probably got better options. Like, I think that just Wasteland is really powerful against combo decks because it kind of buys you a turn, and that's like a time walk when you're hitting somebody in the face with a Nethergoyf is pretty good. So yeah, I would say there wasn't anything that I would change about this deck. I feel this list is really tight. I like having just one 3-drop. These are optionally 3-drops. I mean, they're really functionally 3-drops, but I would never entertain putting a Jace in this. I think a Jace is a trap. I think Narset, with this many creatures, you're going to whiff a lot. Narset is good, but you know, if you're playing Narset, you're basically like an all creatureless deck, or maybe you have 4 Tamiyos. And I think like a lot of Jeskai decks have 4 Tamiyos, and everything else is a potential hit for Narset. Crypticoat was really good. I think it's way better than Batterskull. I think it's, I don't understand why people would play Batterskull when they could be playing Crypticoat. It pitches to force. It has unblockability. There was a league that I played similar to this list, not quite, where I killed a blue-black reanimator player by putting Crypticoat in when they had like just a wall of brutal monsters, but they were low on life from reanimating stuff. And Crypticoat, the unblockability, I just end-stepped, put this in, and attacked with it. And the ward was relevant. Obviously, like our opponent forgot about ward. So whenever there's a saying that whenever your opponent has to read your cards, you have a big advantage. And I think Crypticoat is one of those cards that, because Stoneblade wasn't really widely played, like there was a resurgence in interest in Stoneblade when Crypticoat was printed, but it's really Formalwear that has brought it back. And I think we only Formalweared like once, maybe twice the entire league, but it will show up across enough matches. It is definitely a very powerful card. Frog was fine. Tamiyo, we actually were going to Tamiyo Ultimate that one game where our opponent forgot to give their Frog Flight before we blocked. Yeah, I think all these cards fit together very well. The mana felt great. The mana did not feel great when you were getting like involuntarily mulliganed by Echo of Eons. But I think that kind of sucks. And like, obviously, if you get a Frog out, like first order of business when somebody's got those in their deck is like exile your fetches so you don't redraw them. But I think the 10-10 split of fetches to fetchables is really good. And we always were able to get basics if we needed them. I think there were only a couple games that were touch and go. We beat blue-black, and we should beat blue-black. But blue-black can occasionally win by just removing your lands and stuff. So that is something to consider. I think the Eldrazi matches also, had we not lost all our lands, we would have been able to do better. But, you know, we got Towing Mycoswand into Oblivion. So that was a lot of fun, and I'm definitely going to be playing some more of these. So look for some more videos of probably this exact 75 over the weekend. I want to remind you that there is a full sideboard guide if you want to take this for a spin, including a link to the Mox Field where I have this listed. So you can just like export that and throw it into MTGO. And you can play the exact 75 I'm playing. Feel free to tweak it. Like now spellbomb wasn't relevant in any of those matchups. I mean, it wasn't totally dead in the blue-black tempo, but like if I'm going to Eternal Weekend, which I'm seriously considering playing this, it's probably down to this or blue-black tempo. I think Esper Flicker, I went to a league last night, or not a league, a in-paper tournament, and I played against 2 different control decks, and both times it went to time. And you just can't afford to go to time. Just because your opponent's on Beanstalk or Jeskai, those were the decks I played against. And yes, I was winning those games if we didn't run out of time, I think, but we did run out of time. So those were draws, right? And that's unfortunately like the nature of like these giant Yorion decks. This deck, yes, you can absolutely go to time, but I think it's less likely because you've got Cauldra, you've got Psychic, like a higher density of Force of Wills and things like that to slow your opponents down or stop them from resolving their critical cards. Esper Flicker can basically fight, Esper Vial can basically fight through a resolved, Fourth Aerolingus, which is what I had to do a couple times last night, or through resolved Beanstalks and stuff like that. But it is pretty ugly. And this, I think, with the higher density of forces, just by virtue of playing 60 cards, you were just more likely to be able to stop it in the first place instead of having to clean up after it. And then this is less vulnerable to sweepers, obviously, because it's got pre-war. And a lot of the cards that you win with, it's just like a single Stoneforge getting a single Cauldra and then attacking. You're not having to you're not having to go wide with a bunch of weenies to win. So those are some of my thoughts on the deck. I'll look forward to watching me play some more. If you have comments, as always, leave a comment with a timestamp if you see me do anything where I could have done something better. And be sure to consider liking and subscribing. Actually, I don't really care about liking, but subscribing. Once I get to 1,000 followers on YouTube, 1,000 subscribers, I can get into the MTGO creator program, and I won't have to pay money to do these leagues. Right now, like if I 2-3 a league, I'm gonna have to pay $10 to try the next one. And you can see like I'm pretty light on chests here. I just won that one chest, so I'm gonna have to use that chest to sell it to get tickets to play the next league if I 2-3 a league. So I'm actually really grateful that my opponent made that mistake, because they saved me $10 or probably $5, because you still get 50 play points if you 2-3. But anyway, I'll stop rambling. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.